that exceed your expectations tonight? It looks pretty impressive on the scoreboard.
Yeah, no, it did, Steve. It was, I wasn't quite sure how last week affected our guys, and we've had a really hectic last month, but they were tremendous out there tonight. Again, a little bit like last week. It was same sort of score, but we probably would have liked to hang on to the ball a little bit more often than we did in both halves. But having said that, our defence was tremendous, and to come up here and put that score on the Cowboys, they're in really good form, and they've obviously got a really good side there, and so I'm really proud of the boys to come up here and put that sort of effort in, even though, like I say, some of the execution probably wasn't where we wanted to be, but the effort was tremendous.
And Cooper, what can you say about his performance? He's involved in everything.
Yeah, he was. Scored a couple of tries, and that big play there just after half time where he pulled Kane Lynette up. That was a real big play in the game. And he's in really good form at the moment.
It sounds like you got one quite serious injury.
Yeah, not quite sure. Yeah, it looks like Justin might have done something to his broken his jaw or cracked his jaw. So that's not great. He's been in really good form for us. But again, that seems to be the initial diagnosis. So hopefully it's not that. But anyway,
lost a tooth as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's like one of his wisdom teeth come out. I don't know whether is that a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we'll get it checked out, and hopefully it's not too bad.
You've been on the road a lot. How are you handling it so well? What are you doing
I think just the attitude of the players is the main thing. Obviously our staff's doing a great job with hydration and just testing of the fatigue levels. We're putting some things in place from those sort of things. But at the end of the day, like I say, I think I've got a mentally tough bunch of players here, and they're just backing up week after week, getting their job done the best they can. And I just can't talk highly enough of them at the moment. To go over in England and win the World Club Challenge is a wonderful effort, but to come back and to win our first two games in real trying conditions, is a real credit to them. And like I say, I'm really, really proud of them.
That last-ditch defence, you must be very pleased with that. There was a couple of held up, pushed out right on the sideline there.
Yeah, could have been a different scoreline. Kane scores that try just after half time, and I think he dropped one over the line, and then Ray Thompson dropped one over the line. But that was because of last defence, from our guys. So they just kept working, they just kept chasing, and just kept getting there. And sometimes you're not going to save tries like that, but if you get there, you give yourself the chance. And so they're the things that I'm so proud of. This group, in the last couple of weeks. And like I say, our defence tonight really saved us. Our ball control, as I said, was poor, so we're under pressure, for long periods of the game. But their defence was tremendous, and I'll say it again, I'm real proud of them.
Cameron, did you see how Justin suffered that injury?
No, I didn't see him.
I think he just copped an accidental elbow. I think. Yeah.
Does this period, Cameron, the players see this period as a particular big challenge? Just all the travelling and preparation and stuff like that?
I don't think we sort of see it as a challenge, Steve. No, it's just the schedule we've been given, and we've known it for a long time. We knew this is going to be the start of our season before we even went to England. So I think it's been more sort of putting in place and just our training schedule and making sure that we're getting the required sort of recovery. And but I think what it boils down to is we've got a pretty tough footy side in there. We've got a resilient bunch of blokes in that dressing shed, and as I said, a lot of people can say that we've got a tough draw and you got to play in the heat and you got to go back up in five days. But to us, that's just we just got to do it. We're travelling back to Melbourne tomorrow, and as soon as we get back to the hotel, it's preparation for the Bulldogs. It's not worrying about what's going to happen in a month's time. We're just taking it week by week. It might affect us later in the year, it might not, but for us, it's just the next day for us.
Seven different faces from the team that won the premiership in September last year. Are you surprised that everything's clicking so quickly?
Not really. No, I had an extended break over Christmas, and I come back in the new year, and the boys were really training exceptionally well. I was quite impressed with the new guys that come into our squad. We were fortunate enough to have a few of those guys move up from our under-20s team. They've been in our system for a couple of years now, and we picked up some experienced players from other clubs. So, they picked it up quickly, because we don't play a fancy style of football. We've got a pretty simple game plan, and we have simple jobs in place for each of our players. We've got some world-class players in our team in certain positions, but they do the things on the field that they do is because of the blokes inside them. And they don't get too many raps out of the blokes, but without them, we wouldn't be the footy side would be, and those players in in the room wouldn't be the players they are. So, I've been really impressed with the guys that have come into the side, and particularly the last couple of weeks, young Slade Griffin, he's done an outstanding job for us. He's a tough little character. He gets in there and plays his all when he gets on the field, and they're the type of blokes that we love having in our footy team. Just blokes that put in effort when they're on the field. They don't need to come up with big plays; they just get their job done when they're in there.
How do you describe the form that Cooper's in at the moment?
Look, he's playing really well, and I think he had a lot of confidence from last year, and I think there's a lot being said about his pre-season that he had. He didn't really have a break. He just sort of continued on from last year's Test match up here, actually. So he's fit, and if you're fit early in the year, then you're going to be in good form, and he scored a couple of good tries for us tonight. He's on the ball, and he's just doing what all good halfbacks do, mate. He wants to get the ball in his hands, and he's playing with a lot of energy. So he's a great player. He has been for a long time, Cooper. But I think he's getting some good recognition now over the last 18 months.
He's entitled to a break, wasn't he? What's the story there? He didn't want to just go straight back into training with everyone else? Or?
No, we didn't actually go back with everybody else. He spent a bit of time over in Arizona with the Brisbane Lions, doing some altitude training. That was his extra training. He come back, and then basically when he come back from that, to get the full advantage of that, he had to do a bit of training with us. So while Cameron and Billy were lying in the sun, putting a little bit on around the stomach, Cooper was still training. So but that's just him. He obviously prides himself on his fitness, and he's looking after himself on and off the field. But
do you think it's made a difference?
Well, it looks as though it has. Like I say, he's been tremendous. In the early part of the season, he was great in the World Club Challenge, and 2 games he's been outstanding. So they had, same as what Cameron said. He's a wonderful competitor as well. So he's always going to be pushing himself to the limit.
Is there any concern from you as a coach that he might burn himself out by just continuing and having no break?
Oh no, it wasn't as though he started training straight after the grand final. I think he went over there about mid-November, and then I think he trained up until mid-December, and then I think he had 3 weeks off then. So I think he had 6 weeks before he went over there, and he had another 3 weeks. So I don't see him as burning himself out. Like I say, the thing is he's a pretty strong-headed character as well. So if he thinks it's helping him, doesn't matter what I say, he's going to go and do it. But we'll certainly look after him a bit later on in the year. He'll need some then. But like I say, he's always looking for that extra edge with his fitness.
Craig, Tohu Harris tonight performed really well. Has he come along quicker than you expected? Yeah,
without a doubt. Cameron made the point there with Slade. He's the sort of player we like in our side. But Toy's a little bit different player to Slade. He played on the edge, but we got into trouble there with Juzzy with our rotation out a little bit. So he ended up playing 80 minutes tonight, and he played the last probably 20 minutes in the ruck. So he's done a tremendous job. We probably expect him to play first grade a little bit earlier than what he has last year, but every time there was probably a chance for him, he was injured, playing in the 20s. But he's, I've said a few times before, he knows the game really well. He's a big, strong guy, so he's gonna. He has gone better than what I thought he would. He's been really consistent, and he's played really long minutes. That's the thing that's surprised him more than anything else. His talent certainly hasn't surprised me, but just his ability to play long periods and to play 80 minutes up here tonight and to finish in the ruck after playing on the edge. That's a tremendous, for any, edge back rail besides, a young one like him. So he's certainly doing probably more than what we expect him at the moment, but he's doing a tremendous job, and like I say, we're real happy with the way him and Slade are going. Thanks, boys. Thank you.